everyone. Welcome to English Story by Manoj Chandra, stories that can change your life. On this channel, we share powerful, inspirational, and meaningful English stories that teach life-changing lessons and help you grow in life. So sit back, relax, and enjoy today's story. This is the story of a boy who was bullied, rejected, and left for broken, but he would grow up to build the very future his doubters now live in.
So what if the boy that everyone bullied grew up to own the future? I mean, think about that. It's a question that completely flips our ideas of destiny on their head. It's the start of a journey, one fueled by rejection, but ultimately defined by an incredible vision. Let's dive into the life of that boy. All right, so our story kicks off in South Africa with a young boy named Elon Musk. And let me tell you, his childhood was, well, it was anything but ordinary. Right from the very beginning, it was like he was just wired differently from everyone else around him. You know, while all the other kids were outside playing games, running around, Elon was lost in other worlds. And he didn't just read books, he devoured them. He was just filling his mind with these huge ideas about inventions and space and a future that honestly no one else could even imagine. But that passion, it was also a bit of a curse, you know? It set him apart. It made him an outsider. 10 hours? Can you even imagine that? 10 hours in a single day. Not playing, but just completely lost in the pages of a book. For young Elon, reading wasn't just some hobby. It was his escape, his sanctuary. And it was right there, in the quiet between the lines, that he first started dreaming of rockets and electric cars and this incredible future he would one day go on to build. But, you know, being different, it always comes with a price. Elon's quiet intensity, his focus, it made him a target. And those incredible dreams he was building in private, well, they were about to demand a very public, very painful payment. At school, he was the easy target. The taunts, they got worse and worse until one day it escalated into something truly horrifying. A group of boys, they pushed him down a flight of concrete stairs. They left him so badly injured he was hospitalized. Now, an experience like that, it could break anyone. But for Elon, it forged steel. He eventually made his way to America to chase those big dreams. But the reality? It was brutal. He was so broke he couldn't even afford an apartment. So his home became a couch in his tiny little office. He showered at the YMCA. All of it just for the chance to build his vision. And still, he kept going. He poured every single dollar, every waking moment into his first company. He was running on nothing but pure vision. And after all that sacrifice, after sleeping on the floor, it failed completely. Can you imagine the weight of that? The crushing disappointment? Most people would have quit right there. I mean, who wouldn't? But not Elon. He scraped together what little he had left and poured it all into a second company, only to watch that one crumble to dust too. It was like the world was just screaming at him, "Give up, stop." But Elon, he was listening to a different voice. And this is where things really changed. Faced with failure after painful failure, he didn't stumble upon some secret business plan. No, he discovered something way more powerful. He found a whole new way to think about failure itself. He realized something so simple but so profound. Failure isn't the end. It's not a final verdict on who you are. It's just a step. Every time he failed, it wasn't the end of the road. It was a lesson. Every mistake was just data, information pointing him in the right direction. And that mindset, well, that became his superpower. So, armed with this new perspective, this new power, Elon set out to build things that everyone, and I mean everyone, said were completely impossible. He wasn't just trying to be successful anymore. He was aiming to completely change the game for entire industries. Just think about it. The entire car industry, these huge, powerful companies, they all said the electric car was a joke, a fantasy. They said it was impossible. What did Elon do? He just ignored them. He built Tesla, and he basically dragged the whole world kicking and screaming
into an electric future. And he wasn't done. Next, he looked up at the stars. The experts, the geniuses, they all said private space travel was a rich man's foolish dream. So what did he do? He created SpaceX, and he did what even governments had failed to do. He built reusable rockets. He completely changed our relationship with space forever. He opened up a whole new frontier for all of us. And just like that, the story comes full circle. That quiet, lonely boy who got pushed down the stairs, the broke young man who slept on his office floor, he's now one of the most influential people on the entire planet. He's tackling the kinds of challenges that will define the very future of humanity. So, what's the lesson here? What can we take away from all this? Because beyond all the rockets and the cool cars, Elon's journey has a really powerful lesson for every single one of us. It's a lesson about our own potential, our own strength, and what the human spirit is really capable of. His life is just proof that where you start, it does not have to be where you end up. It teaches us that we shouldn't be afraid of failure. We should welcome it, embrace it, because it's our greatest teacher. In the end, what really matters is having the courage to believe in your own vision and the guts to just keep going, even when the whole world is telling you to stop. And that brings us to the most important question of all. His story, it's been written, but yours is just beginning. So when you face your own doubts, your own challenges, your own critics, what will your story be? Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please like, comment, and subscribe to English Story by Manoj Chandra for more powerful stories. Because here, we share stories that can change your life.